If you're a senior tech professional who has been applying for months and getting nowhere, this is for you. The job market is not broken. You're just playing the wrong game. And every day you keep playing it, you're burning credibility, wasting time, and losing ground to people who are less qualified but better positioned. Here's the big problem. You think the market rewards experience. It does not. The market rewards clarity, speed, and risk reduction. And right now, your experience is working against you. If you do not know me, my name is Golod. I have been able to help over 1,000 senior tech professionals switch jobs with their desired conditions in as little as 30 days. Built a community of over 235,000 followers on LinkedIn in just 3 years. And here's the shocking part. I never even finished university, yet I made over $300,000 a year working at the government of Canada twice and for multinational tech companies by using my proprietary interview method. Let me tell you something that most people do not want to hear. I have never been the most qualified candidate in the pool, not even close. I do not even have an undergrad degree. I did not finish university, so anyone out there could be more qualified than me on paper. But I still got the offers, and I have helped thousands of others do the same. Daniel switched from data science to machine learning engineering with no formal experience in that role. 5 weeks. 48 interviews in 24 days, 16 different companies, 5 job offers. So, his highest offer was $483,000 a year. He was making $120,000. So what is happening here? It is not about your knowledge, skills, experience, expertise, or education. It is about understanding the rules of the game. And most senior professionals do not understand the rules. They do not know how to get seen. They do not know what to say. They do not know how to create an experience that makes employers feel something. Because employers will not remember what you said, but they will remember how you made them feel. Here are 3 facts that prove why this is happening. Fact 1. In the United States, over 23% of all unemployed people have been searching for 27 weeks or longer. In Canada, that number jumped to almost 22% in 2025. This is not an early career problem. This is a structural feature of the market. Long searches are now normal because the system is not hiring. It is triaging. Fact 2. Job postings do not equal hiring intent. Some postings exist to build a pipeline. Some exist to satisfy internal process requirements. Some exist because the company wants to look like it is growing. There are no official statistics on how many postings are ghost jobs, but the gap between postings and actual hires is real, and it creates an illusion that the market is active when it is actually stalled. Fact 3. Senior hires are expensive and politically risky, so employers optimize for low regret, not high upside. They want someone who is already proven in the exact same environment. They want someone who will not create internal conflict. They want someone who is easy to justify. That is why you can be obviously qualified and still invisible. You're not failing the competence test. You're failing the triage rules. Now, let me explain why this is happening to you. If you cannot switch jobs, one of 2 things is true. Either you cannot land interviews or you cannot convert interviews into offers. These are 2 completely different problems. And most people do not know which one they have. A lot of professionals come to me and say, Brian, can you review my resume? And I ask them, have you been able to land any interviews? They say, yes, I landed 18 interviews. I tell them, I can redo your resume, but that is not going to help you receive job offers. Your interview skills are preventing you from receiving job offers, not your resume. If you cannot land interviews, the problem is not your experience. The problem is clarity. When you apply to too many different roles, you confuse hiring managers. They cannot figure out what you actually want, and confusion creates risk. So they move on to someone who fits a clear box. Here's what happens. You want a specific role, but it is not available. So you cast a wider net. You apply to product owner roles, scrum master roles, business analyst roles. You think you're being flexible, but the system reads that as desperation. And even if you get one of those jobs, you will not want to be in it because it was never what you actually wanted. I have been a full-stack software developer, a business analyst, a product owner, and occasionally a scrum master. But I never applied to all of them at the same time. I was always laser-focused. I always knew exactly what I wanted to do. That is how I went from $18,000 a year to $300,000 by being laser focused. Landing interviews is complex. It is not just your resume. It is your resume, your LinkedIn profile, and your job application strategy working together. Most people fix one piece and wonder why nothing changes. But if your resume is strong and your LinkedIn is weak, you lose. If your LinkedIn is strong, but you're applying to the wrong roles, you lose. If both are strong, but you're applying too late or too broadly, you still lose. The system punishes lack of focus more than it punishes lack of experience. Now, let me talk about the second problem. If you're landing interviews but not getting offers, the issue is different. Most employers do not train their interviewers. They assume people know how to assess talent, but they do not. So interviews become random, inconsistent, and political. And that creates an opportunity. If the interviewer does not know how to control the conversation, you can. If they do not know what questions to ask, you can guide them. If they are not trained to evaluate you, you can show them exactly what they need to see. This is not manipulation. This is strategy. But most senior professionals do not do this. They sit back and wait to be asked the right questions. And when the questions are bad, they give bad answers. Then they wonder why they did not get the offer. Here is something else most people get wrong. They think experience always helps. But sometimes it works against you. If you're overqualified, hiring managers will not hire you. Not because you cannot do the job, but because they think you will get bored and leave. And they do not want to go through the hiring process again. So they hire someone less experienced who will stay. Now, let me talk about something that most people think is fair, but is completely rigged. Compensation questions. Recruiters will ask you, how much are you currently making? Or how much do you want to make? And most people answer. But that is a trap. The one who speaks first loses. If you tell them your number too early, you lock yourself in and you lose all negotiating power. I had a client named John Benjamin. He was interviewing for a job that paid $100,000 to $140,000 a year. He was making $140,000 at that time. He did not want to waste his time, so he almost skipped the interview, but I told him to go anyway. He followed my method. He did not reveal his number. He let them fall in love with him first. And when they gave him the offer, it was $275,000 a year, plus $800,000 in stock options. The maximum range was $140,000. They gave him $275,000 because he did not speak first. Here's the truth. You're putting all your eggs in one basket. You're hoping one employer will see your value. You're hoping one interview will go well. You're hoping one offer will come through. But hope is not a strategy. Strategy is knowing which game you're playing. Strategy is knowing how the system actually works. Strategy is positioning yourself so that the system works for you, not against you. Let me give you the framework. First, pick one role. Not 3 roles, not 5 roles. One. The role you actually want. The role that brings you happiness, fulfillment, and financial stability. If you do not know what that role is, stop applying. Because every application you send is training the market to see you as confused. Second, understand what the market wants for that role. Not what one job posting says, what the market consistently asks for across 10 or 20 postings. That is your signal. Third, align your resume, your LinkedIn, and your application strategy to that signal. Make it so clear that a recruiter can look at your profile for 6 seconds and know exactly what you do. Fourth, apply to as many jobs as you can for that one role. No cover letters. Do not even read the job description. Just must apply strategically, effectively, efficiently. As soon as the jobs come out, apply immediately. Do not waste time. Fifth, apply early. Not first, but early. Be in the first 50 applicants, because after that, the odds drop fast. Recruiters are not filtering out seniors. They are filtering out everyone because they do not have the time to read all the applications. There are hundreds of applicants in a very short period of time, so they find enough people they want to evaluate, and then they stop. Sixth, take control of the interview. Do not wait for them to ask the right questions. Guide the conversation. Show them what they need to see. Make them feel like they have known you forever. And seventh, do not rely on one offer. The goal is not to get one interview. The goal is to get multiple interviews so you can get multiple offers. Because when you have options, you have power. And when you have power, you can negotiate the conditions you actually want. Now, let me address something you might be thinking. A lot of people would rather believe the market is broken, they're playing the wrong game. Because admitting you're playing the wrong game means you have to change. And change is uncomfortable. But here is what I know. If you keep leaning against the wall, hoping it will move, it will not. You can lean for a millennium. The wall will not move. It is not a matter of time. It is a matter of knowing and having a strategy and doing it properly. You may think you can figure it out on your own. And maybe you can, but there is a lot of pain associated with that. And the inaction costs you. It costs you in the way you feel. It costs you money you are leaving behind. It costs you freedom and flexibility. It costs you special moments with your loved ones. It costs you your relationships with your children and your spouse. So yes, you can keep trying to figure it out, or you can follow someone who has dedicated years to this. Someone with a reputation, someone who has helped and guided thousands of others just like you. You do not need to think. You just need to follow the recipe. Here's something else most career coaches will tell you is wrong. We do not send thank you emails. I would fly down to wherever my clients are to stop them if they try to send one. Not because gratitude is wrong, but because thank you emails are typically used the wrong way. And I want my clients to focus on killing the interview. No one who nailed it during the interview and really hit it out of the park ever lost the job because they did not send a thank you email. Time is the most important thing people have. Show gratitude during the interview, not after. Here's what you need to remember. The job market is not broken. It is optimized for volume, automation, and risk reduction. And if you keep playing like the market rewards experience, you will keep losing. But if you play like the market rewards clarity, speed, and proof, you will win. Because the system is not unfair. It is just playing a different game than you think. So stop applying harder. Start applying smarter. Stop waiting for someone to see your value. Start showing them exactly what they need to see. And stop hoping the market will change. Start changing how you show up in it. Now let me ask you this. What is the one thing you have been doing that you now realize is working against you? Drop it in the comments. And if you want to learn exactly how to take control of your interviews so you can walk out with the offer, watch the next video on this topic. Because landing interviews is only half the battle. Converting them is where the real power is.